Hi everyone, welcome to this week's workbook. Color moods. And so I want to just do a quick video to kind of show you how to get started with this and to walk you through some of the techniques that you'll need in order to do a good job on this one. So as you read through the assignment, your goal is you're going to choose 5 colors from the Psychology of Color book, which you can find inside your assignment or on the front of your module right here. And you will choose any 5 of these except for neutrals, because we're going to do that one right now. So choose 5 additional colors, and from that one, you are going to try to find a photograph that's going to match the tone of the color as well as a font. And then you're going to basically find 6 additional colors that sort of fit with inside that color scheme. I know this seems like a lot, but a part of it is to get you continued practice working with some of these tools, so when I turn you loose, you can handle this on your own. So in this particular case, what I want to walk through is I want to basically take a look at the neutral section. And I love neutrals. These are very antique type colors. And you'll notice that inside this Psychology of Color area, I've gone through and I've listed out different characteristics of each color. And I want you to take some of these and focus on them. So if you got a notepad, just jot down some of these notes. But again, you want to find an image that helps to represent this, as well as a font that helps sort of meet that personality. So in this particular case, neutral tones are identified with time and antiquity. So based on that, I'm going to go out and find a photo that I think is going to work with this. Now, I gave you a link to Envato Elements, and this is one of the stock photography sites that I use or have a subscription to. And I just basically want you to kind of get used to searching for photos in such a site as this. And so on this particular one, it's sure to be set to photos, but if it's not, you can come up here to the drop down and just change that to photos. That's the only area I want you searching for. And then once you've identified a keyword from your color that you want to look for an image for, simply type that in. So for example, if I type in antiquity and hit enter, okay, and then once it fulfills its searches, it's going to give you some options to choose from. Keep in mind that some will always be better than others. And this is one of the most challenging things that some of you guys discover this with your with looking through fonts. You can kind of get lost just trying to find the right font. Well, welcome to try to finding the right photo. There's an old saying that a picture is worth 1,000 words. In the case of using photos, you always want to make sure that it's saying the right words. So if that's the case, I'm going to scroll down here till I find something that I think matches antiquity. There's a lot of good things, but I know what I've got to have in my mind, and I like this one. So when I find a photo that I like, I'm going to click on it. And in this particular case, you guys do not have a license for this, so I'm not expecting you to get one because it costs money. So in this case, for just this project, go ahead and right-click on the photo that you like, do Save Image As, and by the way, I'm using Chrome here, and then simply save it. I would probably go ahead and create a folder for your color moods and put it inside there. So I'm going to place that in there. It's a JPEG. So let's make this something I can actually recognize. Coliseum. Hit save. Okay, so now that I've found a image that I like, let's go and look for a font that's going to match the sort of vibe that we're looking for. So I go to fonts.adobe.com, and again, I've given you that link inside the assignment. And again, you want to make sure that you go ahead and sign in just to make sure that whatever you download will automatically sync in with your project. And again, for this project, you need to be using Adobe Fonts because it helps me whenever I have to go back and grade your project to be able to pull your fonts in automatically, okay? All right, so let's click on Browse Fonts. Again, you can always type the word that it is you're searching for right inside here, the sample text. So since one of the keywords for my color was antiquity, let's just take a look at that. All right. So this is the overall mood or feel that I'm going for, so now I can see what each font will look like inside this particular one. Now, whenever you guys remember from your font exercises, I did give you guys a whole list of some very generic personalities. In this particular case, antiquity or very neutral type fonts, I'm trying to bring something that's very old or stable, those are serif type fonts. So I'm going to come down here, I'm going to click on serif, and I get all these serif fonts written inside that same, that's using the word I put in as an example. All right. So I already know the font that I want. It is called Grand Central. This is going to be kind of like the Martha Stewart version of this, where I've already gone through and found what it is I'm looking for ahead of time. So this is the font I'm looking for, so I'm going to click on it. And by the way, if you already found a font that you do like, just click on View Family. It'll take you to the same screen. All right, so once I got my font, this is where it's going to take me. This is what I like. I think this looks pretty good. And just to verify, let's type in Antiquity. Okay, I do. I think that fits it pretty well. And since the name of the color is neutral, let's see what that looks like. It's going to be all uppercase. That works pretty well for me. All right, I like it, so I'm going to go ahead and activate it. And you'll see that it's currently activating 2 fonts, and I just got the note. You can't see it, it's off screen, that it has been activated inside InDesign. So I'm going to go back to InDesign now. Okay, and once you're ready to add your elements, let's go and click on the next page. Now, with the image that you downloaded, for example, if I go back, this is more horizontal in nature, the overall picture is. All right, so with that in mind, when I go back to my InDesign, I've got 2 templates that I can work with. And if you click on the Pages panel, over here, you'll see you've got A, vertical image, or B, horizontal image. And this is what it looks like. Okay. For the vertical, you'll put your picture over here. For the horizontal, it's going to go across the top. And I've already got placeholders for you. Okay. So you just need to decide whether you're going to be using a vertical image or horizontal. In my particular case, it's horizontal. So with that, I'm going to click and I'm going to drag the horizontal image template on top of page 2. Okay, now I'm going to double click on page 2 to go to it. Now you'll notice if you try to work with anything, you can't select anything. That's because it's locked down. So one of the things you're going to have to do is after you've added the template, right click and choose Override All Master Page Items. At this point, you can now select things. Now to make this easier to work, let's go up here to View, drop down to Screen Mode, Normal. And you can see here's the image placeholder up at the top. All right, so with that, I'm going to select on that. Come up to File. I'm going to choose Place. And I'm going to choose my photograph. And at this point, I can always resize it to fit the frame, or I can crop it however I like. Now, to move an image inside of the actual graphics frame box, I find it easier to go to my Direct Selection tool. Click on the white arrow, then click on the box. And you'll notice, let me zoom out here. As I do, you'll see a brown box outline. This is the actual image inside the graphics window. Okay, I can move it around as needed. If I want to scale it, I can always come out here to the outer edges. I can click on one of the corner points, hold down the Shift key, and as I do, it'll constrain it. And you better make sure that you're holding down that Shift key. I don't want to see distorted images. So you can scale it however you like, and you can move it around inside that window till you find something that you like working with. Again, I'm using the Direct Selection tool for this. Okay. Then once you're happy with it, by the way, to get that sort of full view of it, like sort of ghost view, I'm just holding down the left mouse button as I move it around inside this window. Okay, I like that. All right, and that's really about it. So let's go back up to View, come over to Fit Page and Window, and that's what we have. So I now have a photo that's going to match the color scheme that I'm looking for. Okay, it helps portray the type of mood or something about that particular color. All right, so with that, I'm going to go back to my selection tool, the black arrow, and I'm going to click on the big box over here. Inside the big color box, and by the way, if you're working with the vertical image, that'll be this one over here. Here I'm going to add the actual color that I'm working with. So in this particular case, it's a neutral. Now, I've already gone through and picked out at least the 11 basic colors for you, so you can just apply those without having to search for them. If you come up to Window, go down to Color, choose Swatches. You'll see I've already chosen all the Pantone colors for you, with the exception of black, white, and yellow. If you're going to use yellow, just use this one. It's fine. So this particular case, this one is a neutral color, and that's this one down here. So with the black box selected, I simply make sure that the fill is selected and click on the Pantone 7535. It's going to apply it there. So once it's applied, I'm going to close out my swatches panel. I'm going to click off to the side. The next thing I want to do is I want to add the name of the color. So I'm going to click and drag out my text box. I'm going to type in the word neutral. You can do lowercase, uppercase, whatever you want to do. No problem. Type in the word neutral. I'm going to highlight it, come over to my properties panel, come down to character, click on the drop down, and I'm going to go to most recently added, which it is. I'm going to choose Grand Central Light for this one. Okay, and there it is, converted. Now I'm going to make it bigger. And I'm going to resize my box here. Now to resize the box, I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier. I was messing around the other day and found out. Just come down here to the bottom right corner and double click that point. Ta-da, it does the right and the bottom all together. All right, I'm just gonna reposition this to be somewhere in the center of this box. And I've got my smart guides turned on. Okay, that looks good. So here I have the name of the color inside a font that matches one of the personalities of it, which in this case is Antiquity. I've got the color that I'm working with, and I've got an image reminds me of this particular color. Now the next thing you're going to do is apply 6 different Pantone colors within inside this theme to those. Let me show you how easy that is. So making sure that nothing is selected, especially when you're working with color, you don't want to accidentally apply stuff. Deselect by clicking off to the side. Come over here to Window, Color. Let's go to Swatches. Next, in the upper right, click on the submenu, click on New Color Swatch. You want to make sure that the color type is Spot. For color mode, click on the drop down. Come down to Pantone Solid Coated. Now what you're going to do is you're going to find 6 additional colors that work with inside this scheme. And as you can tell, there is a lot of Pantones. But the nice thing is they're arranged via, by color. So it shouldn't take you that long to find 6 with inside that same color scheme. And you can pick any 6. They just have to be different Pantones with inside that theme. Okay, so for example, I'm going to come down here to the neutral colors, which I know are some of the grays and beige colors. And so I can choose all 6 grays or I can vary it up. So in this particular case, when I find a color that I like, I click on it, and I hit Add. If I hit Add, it's going to automatically add it to my swatch panel over here. This way I can kind of continue to go through and find additional colors. Hit Add. I'm going to come up a little bit. I like these warm grays, so let's choose a couple warm grays. Hit Add. Remember, I need 6. Okay, and once I have all 6, I simply hit Done. You notice I now have 6 additional Pantones that have been added. So now all I have to do is click on each one of these black boxes and add those Pantones to it. So for example, I click on this black box. I'm going to scroll down, find my first color, so Pantone Cool Gray. Make sure my fill is selected, click on that. It's done. Okay, and directly underneath it, I'm going to type in the Pantone number. In this case, it's Cool Gray 7. Go back to my selection tool. I'm just going to do that all the way for the next 6 colors. By the way, if you forget the name of a color while you're typing it, just simply click on the color box and it'll take you straight to the swatch that has been applied. And if you have any text that goes onto those third lines, if you want to, you can just simply select that text, and you can always shrink that up if you like. So in this particular case, I would probably just drop it to about 9 points. And that's really about it. And the nice thing is, whenever you're done with this, you'll have at least 5 pages of colors with additional possible Pantones to sort of help you out as you start working on your projects. You'll get a good idea what the name of the color is. You've got a font that matches. You've got an image to help you think of that color a little bit more visually. And then you'll also have 6 different options for you to kind of go through that you've liked. So this will make a really nice color book. In this case, I'm only having you do 5, but feel free if you want to do additional ones, you can.